Dear God, why?
Well, this video's dated. Hey everybody, Kaze here, and welcome to Flicks and Foods. New location currently, thanks to the pandemic plague of the world, which I am not allowed to speak its name, lest the YouTube gods strike me down. And I don't want that. So, right now I'm going to go ahead and just bring you a little cringy entertainment. We're going to talk about some movies. We're going to still talk about like some foods. And apologies for not being around. Like I said, pandemic and all. We're going to go ahead and talk about a movie that many people didn't think would work out, but surprisingly did. Let's talk about Joker.
2019's Joker stars Joaquin Phoenix as the titular DC Comics character, whose real name in this version is Arthur Fleck, an aspiring comedian that lives with his ill mother and suffers from a mix of mental illnesses such as uncontrollable laughter, hallucinations, psychopathy, and narcissism as a little wacky cherry on top. The story takes place in a 1980s version of Gotham City, where it is just flooded with crime, litter, a sense of hopelessness, and giant rats. Director Todd Phillips gives us a comic book movie that, if we change the names to remove the connection to the source material, it would still flow very naturally. In my opinion, this is due to the writing and performances of the cast. Joaquin's Arthur is someone who we hopefully may not connect with for his negative actions. However, we can certainly empathize, being put in situations where we are uncomfortable, feel threatened, and have had days where we feel we just don't matter. I think that he portrays this brilliantly by not being afraid to go extreme without any blatant overacting. It all feels very organic. Zazie Beetz plays a potential love interest named Sophie who lives in the same building as Arthur. Without going into any spoilers, I know that lots of people say they knew the twists about this character, but I'd be lying if I say I figured it out during my initial viewing of the film. Other notable performances include Frances Conroy as Arthur's mother, Penny, who we discover may or may not have been very truthful about some elements of his past. Robert De Niro as comedian talk show host Murray Franklin, who Arthur idolizes. Oh, and also this guy, Brian Tyree Henry, who I instantly recognized after seeing the 2019 Child's Play remake. As a man who enjoys a good laugh, it may surprise some of you that the Joker is not my personal favorite of Batman's villains. Nothing at all against the character. I certainly recognize his place as an icon in all forms of media and as Batman's greatest foe. It's just that I'm getting tired of the real world hype of the character, where he needs to be brought up in stories he probably just has no place in. I honestly prefer some servings of the Scarecrow, the Ventriloquist, Bane, Poison Ivy, Killer Moth, Killer Croc, and Clayface. I will say my favorite on-screen versions of the Joker in no order are Jack Nicholson's from Batman 1989, Cesar Romero in Batman 1966 series, Mark Hamill in Batman the Animated Series, and Cameron Monaghan from the TV series Gotham. One thing I hear a lot of is the similarities between this movie and the movie The King of Comedy, which I agree, there obviously are. I think one movie that is overlooked yet also similar is the 2003 version of Willard, one that I'll talk about down the road. If anything though, I feel that Joker is a more boundary pushing version of Willard. This movie is captivating from beginning to end with its locations, story, and as mentioned earlier, the performances. I'd give this a 9 out of 10, 1 point off because I feel that the ending may leave people with some questions. Probably wouldn't enjoy the slow burn this movie gives, along with some of the violent scenes. I mean, the Joker has become one of the most violent enemies of Batman. All that aside, remember at the end of the day, this is a telling of how this version of the Joker ultimately comes to be as it reaches a climax, which is quite satisfying.
A satisfying payoff indeed. So go ahead and let me know in the comments below, what did you think about Joker? If you've seen it, haven't seen it, if I have encouraged you to go check it out, let me know. This is Kaze saying peace and love, to be continued. See ya.